They said I could say a few words, and I really don't want to, because I need to. And I just want to thank everybody. That day was the worst day of my life to this day. And I wasn't there. I marked 66, and my folks pulled me out. I had a bad grade. And I guess God knew what he was doing. I was not there that day. And I was at home with my 3 sisters. And the news came in that my parents had to go to the hospital. There had been an accident. And we kind of suspected the worst, but we hoped for the best. And we waited by that phone for an hour and a half, and sure enough, the call came in, and they told us John had died. So it was terrible at the house. It was not a good place to be, and I left. And I took the storms had subsided. I took the dog out for a walk, and I got out there in the street. The neighbors came out and asked me if it was so, and they were crying. So I just went back to the house, back to the room I shared with John. You know, and I was thinking about now we have to have his funeral home stuff. It's gonna be terrible. We got to the funeral home, and there you guys. The whole floor was there, and just your presence was everything. But I just can't tell you enough. But the funeral that they gave us, you know, and the care and attention they gave to the family was beyond words. It was yeah, he was buried in the Vanguard uniform. There was honor guard all 3 days of the way. And we got flowers and well wishes from all over the country. And it was a funeral fit for royalty. It was beautiful. And he would have loved it. And Sam mentioned Ron Hughes, and I always, when I tell John the story, I try to say something about Ron. He's not with us. And it was a big deal because back in '67, racial tensions in the country were a lot worse than they are now, you know, and it didn't exist in the courts. Sam gave a big speech at Elkhorn. You know, it didn't matter where you came from, what economic background you were, black, white, German, Irish. If you're Italian, that was different. Once you put on that Vanguard uniform, you're a Vanguard.
Amen. Yeah.
But, you know, I think about Ron got down there and did his best to save my brother's life, and God just did not bless his efforts. But I've thought about it over, you know, what if, just what if. And I'm so grateful for him having that courage, and he was a great guy. And also, there's one other story I want to tell, and that was the evening before the funeral. I was there at the funeral home, and we're about halfway back. If somebody could bring that package over there in the corner, please, I'd appreciate it. I was sitting there in the funeral home, I was talking to Sam, and he was showing me his Vanguard ring. A lot of people don't know this, and that the first year they gave him out, and Sam had one, and it was really sharp, you know. And if you know Sam, that ring is everything. And Sam at 19 didn't have a lot of prized possessions, but if he had any, that ring was one of them. Right? And he said to me, you know, I think I want to give this. He said, I want to give this ring to John. I think he should have it. And I tried to say, are you kidding me? You really want to do that? And I didn't even get to work on my mouth. He said, I'm going to do it. He stood up and stepped over me. And next thing I knew, he was up there talking to my parents. He gave that ring to John. And I never forgot, I really appreciate it. I had this made for you, hope you like it.
That was enough right there. I hope nobody wanted this paper. Like you care. Was it? Yeah, really? I think I need like a 5-year-old to help me. Play the ball where it's at. Play with the ball where it's at home.
Don't drop it.